And welcome to another episode, the return for the third Mickey Ficky season of More Conversations with the Average Black Man. Oh, shiggity brag though. You feel me though? I am Timothy Hughes. I have my lovely co-host Morphine. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And welcome to another episode of More Conversations with the Average Black Man. And we here again. This time we're starting off with a bang. You know, the thing I love to start off with the most is a bang, a big bang. Today we're calling out the cat. Well, not we. I am.
Bruh.
This is all morphine. Morphine is calling out the cap of the pro male extremists. More like red pill extremists, those guys. Okay. In this episode, we will address the hypocrisy of the pro male extremists. It's ironic how some of these male extremists claim to champion fairness and equality, yet their rhetoric often promotes the division and perpetuates the very bias claims they oppose to true advocacy for men's rights should evolve uplifting men, not tearing others down. Hypocrisy only weakens the credibility of any movement.
I agree. Now, I'm not calling cap on any particular individuals, but I am calling cap on what you just said because there's a lot of these extremists that be like, you know, bring back the patriarchy and end feminism, but be like, well, I'm not paying for the bills. Like, wait, so that's going 50-50 is not patriarchy. That's feminism. Like,
That's
not-
that's that's,
so which
that's
one is it? Which one is it?
true.
Either you the man and you the provide. Either you a man and you the provider and the alpha that patriarchy says, or
Mm-hmm.
or you a beta or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let me see
yeah.
what's going on. What's going on? Let's shout out to the comments already.
Um, My lovely host, I'm gonna need you to cue up the notes because in those notes, since I cannot get to them on my laptop, in
You want
those
to put them on
notes,
the screen?
not yet. Just cue them up. In those notes, as I'm going down with my points, I have some wonderful. Um,
Screenshots you want to put on the screen?
absolutely.
All right.
And I want to read. I want the people to see what I'm reading. Once I come up to my first point, then I want you to cue that up. My wonderful, beautiful co-host. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, people. Okay. Red pill extremist ideologies are often rife with contradictions. These contradictions are arise from inconsistencies between the state of their beliefs and the real world implications and outcomes of those beliefs. Here are some examples. I need that cue
All right. You did the first screenshot? Am I on the right notes?
now. Just cue up the claim of superiority. Why playing victim? I want the people to see the beliefs and the contradictions before we get.
So the very first screenshot, right?
Mhm.
All right, boom. So let
My
me.
first point, people, claiming superiority.
All right.
Why playing victim? The belief is red pill extremists often claim that men are inherently superior to women in various ways, physically, intellectually, and morally. The contradiction is, despite these beliefs male superiority, they simultaneously portray men as victims of a society supposed to be dominated by feminist ideologies. These men I'm sorry, these victim mentality contradicts their self-proclaimed strength and dominance. Here's one example. Being truly red pill is realizing men are bitch made. He want to say bitch, but he can't say bitch because of algorithm things. So are bitch made niggas. Can we say that?
And no, we can't either, but okay.
Oh well, I guess are bitch made ninjas And that is the root problem with the women. However, can we go to the next slide, sir? However,
Yeah.
but they also say shit like this.
Okay, next slide. Where is it? I got a whole I got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
You got two screens, sir. You got two screens.
And I got this other stuff. That's the problem. I got too much going on.
But they also simultaneously say things like this, where no gain, no reward, no history, no glory. I mean, no story, no glory. Right? Right, people? Right, people? Now, if that was the truth, then why are you coming at men if you're supposed to
Hey,
be uplifting them? If you're uplifting them,
now hold on, wait. I got a 60-40 this.
okay, well, let's go. Let's go.
In the
Let's go.
context of men, this is real. No gain, no pain, no gain. I can't see the little bit right in
It
my
says no gain, no reward, no story, no glory.
it says no pain, no gain.
It
Then
says
it
no
says
gain, no
no
reward. Oh yeah, it does says no pain, no gain.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I ain't see that shit.
it says no pain, no pain, no gain, no sacrifice, no reward, no risk, no story, no glory. That applies to anybody though. But I feel you. 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 I feel
This
you.
is just not what men. This is what everybody. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. I just want to give y'all guys examples of the contradictions that these guys say. And it's not just these two guys. I got many more of guys with this type of contradicting. This slide right here says this is the problem. Treat her how men treat each other. She'll make better choices. So this shit
Oh
right
no,
here, this shit
this
right here
this
wants you
got
to treat
real.
women like a man.
No, that's not what this. You missing it. I think you misinterpreted.
No, that's what he said. That's what he
I
said.
think you
He said
misinterpreted
that.
this.
We reading it.
Hold
It's right
Hold
there.
on, hold on. I think you might be misinterpreted. It
No.
says a woman gets cheated on. This is how her friends react to her. That's okay, girl. He lost out on the good thing, girl. It wasn't none of your fault. So what if he caught you with another man with his thing in your eyeballs? So that was why did you even have another man there in the first place? It's because he was slipping on what he was doing. But when men get cheated on, they be like, that's what your bitch ass get me. You got played. That, I, I, hey,
I
I'm
get
sorry.
that. I
I'm
get
sorry.
that. I get that. I understand that. But this caption up here does not go with the picture.
The problem is
The caption and the
treat
picture is
her
totally
how
two
men
different
treat
things.
each other. Right. I'm assuming that he's telling women, because that's what this group is about, talking shit to women.
That's what
He's
they do.
telling women, yeah. So he's telling women, treat your homegirls the same way we treat our homeboys. When our homeboy get played, we be like, that's your fault. That's what you get. That's why I'm saying this one, I don't know. This ain't a good
Next
example.
slide. Next slide. Next slide. I'm just gonna say that shit don't match what he's saying, people. It don't match. How you gonna have one picture saying one thing and then your caption saying something totally fucking opposite than what that shit said? Let's move to the next slide. That's another contradiction. That was just my point. You want to interpret it, the motherfucking picture. Anyway, going on.
I was reading the meme. I just,
He's
I gotta call a
over
spade a
interpreting
spade.
the picture.
I gotta call a spade a spade. I ain't got no dog in this fight.
I
I
got you, brother. I got you,
spade a
brother. You got
spade.
to be on somebody's side. A woman in this group told me that's why you don't have a woman to care about you. I said, women don't care about nobody. They only care about what you can do for them. So what that I mean, so that means no man has that. Again,
No, I disagree with this.
going back to claiming superiority while also playing the victim. If you are the dominant man with options, then maybe you should pick some women that care about you because you got options to pick. You got options to pick a woman that may care about you, a woman that don't give a fuck about you. This is what you said. I'm not saying that's what you got. I'm just saying this is what you said. Just, okay. Co-host, what's your thoughts?
I don't agree with this one. This one is goofy. this is a good, because at the end of the day, the same way a man only treats a woman based on the value that he sees in that woman, women only treat men based on the value that that woman sees in that man. So if a woman is treating you a certain way and you letting it happen to you, then that's on you, bro. That was the choice you made. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
If a woman only cares about herself, if you don't recognize that she's selfish and you dealing with her, that's on you. Call a spade a spade. That's my new shit. Call a spade, baby.
All
I'm
right,
calling
going
it.
down to my
Already.
second point. Get the mic back. Going down to my second point. Criticizing feminism while mimicking its tactics.
Ooh.
Yeah, baby, I did some shit on this, John. Okay. Belief. These groups often criticize feminism as a movement that unfairly seeks to evaluate women at their at the expense of a dude. So this group believes that the the act in the system of of the feminism movement is unfairly to men, and it boosts women up at the expense of men. The contradiction is, despite this criticism, red pill extremists frequently engage in similar behavior by promoting a movement that seeks to elevate men at the expense of women. They mirror the very activism that they condemn, but for different reasons and for different groups.
So I'm trying to understand this one. So, yo, isn't this a form of socialism?
Oh,
I bet.
that's under three. I didn't have
Oh,
an example for that,
okay.
for
Well, my bad.
criticizing.
My bad.
See, here you go. Here
But
you go.
that's it is under three.
Yeah, it's under three. Um. Okay, in this dance, right? This is a shot at all um red pill extremists. I
No,
did not.
no, I agree with this now because
I did not.
essentially,
I did
can I
not
can, can I
find.
get this?
Go
Can I
ahead.
get in
Go
right here?
ahead. Go
Can I
ahead.
get
Go
on
ahead. Go
here?
ahead.
I think we on the same team right here. I think we on the same
Yeah,
team.
go ahead. I just couldn't find. I
So,
wanted to explain how I couldn't find no examples of that shit.
so playing the victim while also expressing superiority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Criticizing feminism while mimicking the feminist tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So an example of that would be what I see in this group myself. I do troll. I troll the trolls. That's my thing in this particular group I'm talking about.
Right.
And but when certain people post, all men ain't shi double hockey,
Yeah.
the immediately is hit with the victim. Well, that's because we was raised by single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we all, if y'all complaining that men ain't men, it's because we was raised by women. So it's your fault that we
Yeah.
so it's your fault that we ain't nothing because we was raised by y'all. So
Yeah.
that I get that one. I dig that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
dig
And for me, I would say that I see a lot of tactics being used by feminism. By it just seems like I don't know what you would say. What you call that? A reverse feminism. Um, or what you call that, just as it says, using the tactics and mimicking its ways of how feminism was ran, and the
right.
systematic of feminism is the same fucking way
So
that they're using it, except for
so
this
so to
minor
give so let
thing.
me give the other example to show how it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So on one side, it's like, women are complaining that guys are too emotional, they too this, and then men say, "Well, it's your fault because you raised us to be feminine.
Mm-hmm.
We're mimicking our moms or whatever, our single mothers." On the flip side, the way women do that is that the reason we gotta be strong and masculine and independent is because men left us to they left us. Y'all made us this way by not being men. So yeah, it's all the same side of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Everybody blaming each other. Well, I ain't shit because you made me ain't shit. Well, I ain't shit because you ain't made me shit. Well, I ain't shit
I
because
don't
you
think
ain't.
there's a double-edged sword on that. On number two. Number two is, again, for those that's just viewing in. Number two is criticizing feminism while mimicking its taxes. I don't think there's no double-edged sword on that. The things that the toxicity that feminism has spread it. It's the same fucking toxicity that extremists in the red pill was spread. And extremists in the feminism is the same motherfucker as extremists in the red pill. We gonna move on to point three.
Okay, so now we get the screenshot.
Oh, we ain't got no screenshot for that.
For
Remember?
point three, I had it up. You said that was
Oh, yeah. The points for point three. Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry.
see,
So we can say it. We can say I'm sorry.
we
You heard
messing up.
y'all heard it. Y'all heard it
We,
live.
mess, we messing up together.
Okay,
Oh,
number
oh, you
three.
got a couple joints up here for this.
Oh yeah, because this is real. This is like the real. That's why it's number three. It's the realest shit I ever seen them do in this group. It's real because they actually do this shit. Anyway, rejecting traditionalism while demonstrating traditional gender roles. Anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the belief they argue that
Absolutely.
society should, huh?
I said absolutely. I see that all the time.
They argue that society should return to traditional gender roles, with the men as breadwinners and women as homemakers. At the same time, they often embrace modern individualistic values, such as pursuing personal freedom and rejecting social norms, which conflict with their strict traditionalism they advocate for. Here go one of them. Now, I don't know if you guys know about the Black Panthers and their what was it? What was it?
Movement.
The
Move.
WIC program that
Oh yeah,
they
it's food.
yeah, the WIC and the food programs that they had.
Nutrition. They started nutrition.
Right.
For those of
And
us that are old enough to remember nutrition in school, that's what the Black Panthers started nutrition. When we
that part. That
used to
part.
have recess and nutrition were separate. Yep. For those that don't know.
For those that don't know. So this guy used I want to say this guy because he's just a representative of what I'm talking about. This is not a dig. But since I tagged him and others in my post and he thought it was coming at him, I'm gonna use him. Here we go. Yo, isn't this a form of socialism? Do you understand what socialism is? Anyway, is this a form of socialism? I bet all those kids, meaning the people, the kids that benefited from the Black Panthers programs of nutrition, were single mothers, which always a black eye for the black community. So this picture is in January 1969. The free breakfast for schools children program was initiated in August. Church Augustine's Church of Oakland by the Black Panthers. Okay, I cannot click on the see more part, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I should have when I took this picture, I
All
should
right.
have
So you
pressed
want to
that
move
before.
on to the next joint?
But we're gonna move on to the next one.
All right. So the next screenshot under that is this one here. Boom. Let me see what he got to say.
All right, you got this one.
Can y'all believe these? It's clowns like this that exist. Where was he when old Brick Squad needed him? The same way you don't owe us any kitty cat is the same way we don't owe you any protection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. Maybe it's my male bias or so.
That's why I say you go ahead on this one before I get the contradictions
so,
in that. Go ahead.
so now when I look in there, it says none of y'all should possibly have daughters. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I have a daughter. I 100% get it. But at the same time, I have daughters, which is why I understand the opposite, because it's not my job if I'm minding my business, walking down the street, you know what I mean, and then a female and a guy are having an argument, and he pop her in the mouth. Way I grew up, that ain't none of my business. I don't
Oh
know what
baby.
I don't know what's going on. Why would I go over there and interject myself and possibly be killed and taken away from my daughter just for her to end up staying with the dude? Hey, I'm sorry.
Um, I'm gonna say this. Now, this one particular, let me get the mic on. This one particular post, I'm not a feminist. I actually agree with. I do not agree with the men going out and generally blanket statement. I'm sorry, going out to just play Captain Save a Hell. And I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but I just don't give a fudge. Um, I don't believe in that. I just don't. I don't believe that we have to do all that. However, I will say, stick a pin in this post. It will circle back around. Because as we go through these 7 points, this post, this post right here, I just removed it. I didn't want you to take off it. Like
I
take the
didn't.
prices.
I didn't close it. You did.
I didn't close it. I just removed it.
Well, it's gone. Want me to put it back up?
Yeah, please. Like, yeah, please. I don't know what I did, but I didn't mean to do that. um, with this post right here, stick a pin in this post. We're gonna come back to this post. Like this post right here, stick a pin. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one.
Next.
This shit gonna come back around. Remember that they
And
said
and
this.
everybody, please be patient because we're gonna put the links up. So if y'all want to come up and spill your spill, you can spill
We
your
got
spill.
you. Just bear with us. Like I said, we gonna present this shit very eloquently as we can. Okay. So all these clowns talking about free cat.
You can't.
I was about to say it. All right, so free cat.
It's saying no. It's saying. Let me. I don't think you're reading it. All these clowns talking about Kitty is free. Kitty free, yo.
Yeah, I mean, I was
What
gonna
they
go ahead.
don't tell you is it's only 0.00000 percentage of men smash Kim Kardashian for free. It's a stupid argument and not worth mentioning. Huh?
Dudes
When he
have
brought in
sex frequently for free.
when he put in the Kim K, I don't understand the context because trying to relate our regular lives to celebrities
Celebrity, stop.
is always difficult to do.
Just stop.
But I absolutely do know that I don't think she took outright cash, but you know what I'm saying. But they did date her, and I have a clip that I wish I could find right now. That basically, I don't know. I sent it to you. I don't know if you watched it, but it's me and my peoples are like men understand that going on dates is like tricking, and it's been going on for thousands of years. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
we
yeah.
understand. If a man is going to be honest with himself, he knows that he's doing things to attract women. That's the point. Unless you want to attract men, and that's what you into, then that's what you into. But for the most part, you know, we get dressed nice and all of that, smell good and all of that because we want to attract women. Just like women get dressed nice and stuff and put on smell good because they want to attract men. The difference
Yeah.
is that what and this go to the point you made before about how they try to flip flop because women will say, "We're not doing that for men. We're doing it for ourselves." Now that's where the men, like you were saying in the last point, like that's where men are trying to use the same tactics. Like,
Yeah, they'll try to use the same tactics like
it's like we're not doing
with the
it to
sport
attract men.
cars and getting together, not getting together, getting yourself together, promoting over promoting the infatuation of money and having material things to make yourself feel the same grand that the women feel when they get BBLs and makeup and weaves. Like it's the same aesthetic, you know? Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Everybody that's watching it in the group, your your comments are not popping up in the screen, but I see them. So shout out to Victor. Shout out to Mrs. Fields. Shout out to Miss Ivory Touche. Everybody that's in the comments blowing it up. Madison, we see you, Madison. Shout out.
Can you read some of those comments that we can't see, brother?
It Well, the context is lost because there's a lot of one words like I agree, well, that's right, all day. You know what I mean?
All
It's just
right,
it's just
let's go to the
it's
next slide then. Like since they with us, let's go to the
yeah,
next.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just them agreeing with what's going on the screen. That's all. You can matter of fact, you can go over to the YouTube or something, if you're watching it on Facebook, just click my personal page and it should take you over to a different
It
spot
should
too.
take you over to a different spot.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
Let me
next
see. I'm
the
getting it
next
ready.
one.
I'm getting it
Oh,
together.
okay. I'm sorry.
Getting it together.
Because he is the engineer for today. I'm not engineering today.
Is it on the screen?
Yep.
All right, boom.
Again, this point is to reiterate. This point is point number 3: rejecting traditionalism. Why demanding traditional gender roles? So rejecting traditionalism. Why demanding traditional roles? I'm sorry, we're on that point.
Hey, if
Um,
y'all watching it, can y'all tag them so they can come get on this live? Because what does this mean? Real marriages are not rings and ceremonies, but consummation and blood covenants. You talking about from a biblical context?
I think he's talking about from a biblical context, son. I really do. There's no other way. I mean,
Oh,
for this guy, he's super biblical. So yeah.
so by this logic and by having 2,000-3,000 year old information and applying it to right now, how is this relevant? Because that would mean that my wife that I've been married to for 15 years is still married to whoever she lost her virginity to when she was young.
Yeah. And that goes into the pair bonding myth. That's point I think number 7. We're going to go into that with the
The
pseudoscience, but
code
we don't
and the
want to
code
go. I don't want to go fast forward on it.
and the
But
cold part about this, though, is that the majority of men have never taken women's V club cards. So that means there are very few men that are actually married from this biblical thousands and thousands of year old standard. You know,
yeah,
so this don't make no sense. You want to go to the next slide? You said or no?
yeah. I want to go to the next slide. Definitely want to go to the next
Okay.
slide.
Point number
The
4.
next slide. No. The next. We on number 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're on number 4.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Give
I'm
me a
gonna hit you like
second.
the Israel. I'm gonna hit you like the Israelites.
Give me a
Breathe.
second. I'm having technical. I'm I'm having a technical difficulty. Something just started out of nowhere.
It's nothing on your screen. So, oh, you got hacked. Look at them. They did hack
Give
your
me a
joint.
second.
All right.
No, I pressed the wrong freaking button. All right, there we go. Cause that was just like getting on my last nerves. All right, number 4. Desiring a relationship while promoting mistrust. Again, desiring a relationship while promoting mistrust. Believe. Many red pill extremists express a desire for traditional relationships, okay? Often centered around marriage and family. I'm going to say this again. Their belief is to express extreme desire for traditional relationships, often centered around marriage and a family. The contradiction is,
Oh, we got
however,
comments. Oh boy, was never married. So that's a troll account. He's never been married. Shout out to the comments to Ray.
oh, then there's that. Anyway, again, the belief, I'm gonna go back. Desiring a relationship while promoting mistrust. The belief in this is many real pill extremists. As again, let me put this out there before I go to this, because I was supposed to say this before we even started this. This is not a shot at all red pill manosphere, righteous fear men. This is only for the extremists. Now, back. The contradiction of this belief is, however, they also promote a deep mistrust and hostility towards women, viewing them as manipulative, or unworthy. This distrust makes them the staple. Committed relationships they claim to desire are difficult. It's not important to be. It's not impossible to achieve, but they make it like impossible. Okay. In this situation, I don't know why my examples is under the wrong thing in these notes. Can you cue up the one that says men never put your wife name on access, like your houses, your cars and shit. She would never do the same for you.
I don't. I disagree because I'm listed as beneficiary on stuff, and she's listed as beneficiary on mine.
Okay.
So what this tells me is that these men need to do exactly what they tell women to do. They need to pick better.
That part, because they don't the accountability on their point is like really fucked up.
if
I'm
you
gonna go
think
into number five because
if you're with a woman that you number one, if you with a woman that you don't want to put her name on nothing, you don't want to be with that woman. Number one, number two, why you with a woman that ain't good enough to put her name on nothing? What kind of partnership and kind of marriages do you got? Is it just you? Like is she just there to give you poom poom when you want some poom poom? Like what's going on? Like is this what's going on? Like I'm confused. What's going on in the comments?
I'm posting them up now. I want to go right into number five because number five and number four coexist with each other. They are twins that sleep in the same fucking bed, bro. I swear they're kissing cousins. Number five, my point number five is promoting self improvement while encouraging resentment. Belief, the belief is self improvement and self resilience are the key themes, which are focused on becoming more successful. That's what the focus is supposed to be on. Men becoming more successful, more resilient, more reliant on themselves. Okay? More attractive and more powerful. That is the belief of promoting self importance for them. Okay? The contradiction in this, ladies and gentlemen, is despite the focus on one's self improvement, red pill ideologies often foster the resentment and bitterness, particularly towards women and the society at large. The negativity can undermine personal growth and create a self defeatism cycle of anger and frustration. So it would make you pessimistic as fuck. Okay? Like I said, number four and number five is kissing cousins. Okay? They go with one and two. Let's go
No,
into this. Let's go
yeah,
into this.
I'm cracking up at the comment though, but it says wife equals assistant, best friend, girlfriend equals fun. It's that simple. If you stop being a woman because that man ain't put a ring on it, your fault. You not the one. Imagine going through a imagine men going through their whole life having fun, wake up at 35 complaining that the woman his age are ran through, are ran through. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Why are you laughing so hard? Like you making it funny. And then the guy, never mind you, the guy replies, the author replies,
But that's
but that's
regular life.
regular life.
But see,
So
that's
if
the but the reason it's a laugh because it's funny, but that's regular life is the point. The point is that if if you make it 35, 40 plus and so first and you got an issue with women your age having a sexual history, you are the most immature man that's walking the earth. How dare this 40-something-year-old woman have a body count? That's ridiculous. She's only been alive 40 years. Like what kind of dumb like
That part. That
make it
part.
make that's the most
That
ridiculous
make it make
thing.
sense. That part.
How dare she
Like
have a boyfriend before she met me? This is crazy.
I kind of think, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is not shared amongst feminism or the sister, quote unquote, sisterhood. By the way, I am not a part of sisterhood. Fuck them hoes. Anyway, this is the funny part about this shit. You said wife assistant. Let me put this shit back up so y'all can see. You said wife assistant, best friend, girl, but girlfriend is fun, right? But said it's regular life to have fun,
No,
bruh.
he's saying no. He was replying that it's regular life for women 35 in order to be ran through. That's just and that's true. That's the
Oh,
I don't the term ran through maybe touchy for someone,
oh my,
but
I
but it,
ain't
it's
interpret it like that.
but it's regular.
Ooh,
That was what I was just saying. It's regular life
wow.
at 35. Why would I be Why would I be appalled that I'm 44 years old, right? And if I
Uh,
wasn't married and I was dating a woman that was my age, why would I be appalled that me dating a 44-year-old woman and she would have a sexual history? Why would that be like, oh my God, I can't believe
my thing
you
is this: why be
you're an
hypocritical
attractive
about
wife?
the situation, knowing that you want to run through women? Like, bro, if you we, if women aren't
There's
open
that too.
to
There's
be
that.
promiscuous, you can't be promiscuous. Who the fuck are you being promiscuous with?
Right.
If these said women aren't open to promiscuity, do not be the guy in the freak group complaining about the freaks. Just get out the group. Anyway, moving along. You be the dude
Right.
that be at
Everybody in the
strip club,
comments, everybody
bitching about
watching,
strippers
we
and
appreciate you so much. We getting ready to put the link up soon. Just bear with us. We almost through the
we
notes.
got two more points. Two more points, y'all. We have five. Number six, advocating for freedom while supporting authoritism. Red pill extreme. I thought you was laughing. Real, red pill extremists often claim to value individualism, freedom, and autonomy. Contradictions. Yet they may also advocate for authoritarianism, control over a woman's choice, including how women should dress, behave, or pursue careers. The desire for control contradicts the libertarian, principles they claim to uphold. Because you can't claim to want freedom and equality and then say you're not a libertarian. You're not into somewhat of
Libertarian.
libertism. Like, that's a contradiction in itself. I always thought so, but it's another show for another day. Let's go into these posts.
Nowadays, you get called a simp just for saying that you love and respect a woman. That's real. Me being married and saying I love my wife and I respect my wife and I appreciate her opinion. Oh, you a simp? Like, no, it just means I'm a mature adult male and I'm not bitter and heartbroken and have disdain to women because I wasn't able to secure a wife in my adult life.
I don't got nothing to say about this. This shit is bitter by itself. I don't have to critique it. Like, like I don't have to critique it. This shit is bitter. Next slide.
Like that was yeah. I'm like that one was all of bitterness going on.
Yeah, that was super bitter. I don't got nothing to say about that, but you're bitter.
All
Go
right, go
ahead.
ahead. Because I'm trying to. I'm going
I
through
got
the.
you. I got you. I got you. All the I like my mic. all all these I could do without women haters. Well, see how you look at things when you get to be like 70 years old. Good luck with that shit. I'm paraphrasing here. Fuck it. Well, we come into this world alone and we leave all those surrounded by thousands of people. Having a mate, if you having a mate is a want, not a need.
You know what this is evidence to me?
Didn't bitches say?
This is
I'm sorry.
evidence
That
to
did
me.
women say that and you ain't like that shit? Oh, anyway.
This is
Um.
evidence to me though that a lot of men do grow up in single mother households because to me this is the perspective of a man that's never seen or talked spoken to an old man. And when I say old, I mean like a 70-year-old old man. Because even 60-year-old men are getting married because they understand that you live longer in a partnership. When you have a reason
Mhm.
to, when you live, we have a reason to live, you live longer. This is why you see when people be married 50 and 60 years, when one of them die, not too long later, the other one die.
Mhm.
They just
Mhm.
used to being together so tough. You know what I mean? But we're gonna move on to the next one. So we for the sake of time,
Mhm.
we got I don't
Because
wanna
this,
I don't want
this has been
people to
a long
fall off.
one.
I don't want people falling off waiting on this. This is crazy. This is just absolute madness.
Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Again, we're talking about this is number 6. We had the we close to last. Advocating for freedom while supporting authoritism.
Like
You want the
wow,
freedom to whoop a woman's ass without going to jail. Women
like
want the freedom to call the cops is when you do
like
these
this
things.
this is just utter madness. Like how insecure. Like, are you what you mad at your mama for whooping you when you was little? So you want to take it out on you? You got the kind of bitterness and resentment to your mom that you want to hit on a woman now because your mama kicked your ass when you was a baby. Like what does this mean? And and you're gonna do it in front of the baby too. So you don't even respect your own seat. Like man, this let me close this before I go off.
He said, "Man, let me close this. This is making me mad." I think that stems from slavery. That's some slavery shit. Um, and we all are victims of this
Okay.
mentality at one
The
point in
only
our
reason
lives.
the only reason men are forced to care about you getting pregnant is because the system coddles the woman. In a lawless world, imaginary world, women would be affected by their own bad decisions. If you have unprotected intercourse with strangers,
I
the
mean,
men
there's that.
wouldn't be affected at all or care. That is the reason women are more at fault. It affects you no matter what. Men are only affected because some simp having y'all made unfair laws to keep y'all from spiraling into poverty even more. This is this is a yes and a no. Want me to put it back up? My bad.
No, 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 no. You good? I mean, we down to that's the last slide. We down to the last one. Go ahead. Go
The
shoot your
reason
remark.
it's a yes, the reason it's a yes and a no is because you know before the concept of because child support back in the days used to only go to divorcees. In order for you to
Right.
get in order for you to get child support, you had to be married. Because and the reason that was in place is because the women that worked in the brothels wouldn't get child support. You know what I mean? Your camera turned off. We can see what you're doing. We can see what you're doing. All right, whatever. I tried to tell you your camera was I tried to tell you your
Yeah.
camera I was trying to tell you your camera would turn back on,
Oh well. Fuck it.
but
Like,
back
oh well, fuck it.
back
I was just
back
trying to close my
back
curtains.
yeah, back in the days, when they had the brothels and the gentlemen's rooms, you know, those women were not entitled to the the care for their children from the men that randomly went in there. Largely a part of that was due to there was no such thing as DNA and all of that too. But
That
for
part.
the most but for the most part, fathers tend to look like their sons. You know what I
All right,
mean? They're
let's
still
go into the
so that's
last and not least one, but and we're gonna open up the lines after that.
okay.
7, last but not least, people claiming rationality while relying on pseudoscience. Now I told you this shit was gonna come back around somehow, some way. Now number 6. Remember that post that I told you that we was going to come around to, and I was like, stick a pin in that. That's the post that I said stick a pin in that. See, in certain situations of extremists, they feel as though, say, hypothetically, your daughter come back, run to you, talking about that guy hit me, and that I feel away, or blah blah blah, push it more, push it. So these guys feel as though that a father shouldn't protect his daughter in certain situations, as i.e., cheating. So if your daughter cheated on her husband, boyfriend, whomever, and that man whooped her ass, you shouldn't go retaliate over that. That goes to the number 7. Now the pseudoscience, I mean number 6, the pseudoscience shit that me and my co-hosts always argue them over is this whole pair bondage shit that got going on. And then there's this other thing that kind of runs into BDSM, but they don't like that. Is the whole if you put this slide up right here,
Which one?
sir, the last one,
What, the purple one?
yeah. The contradictions of this belief of claiming rationality by relying on pseudoscience. These groups often present themselves as rational, logical, claiming that their views are basic on biological and evolution truths. Despite this, they frequently rely on pseudoscientific claims or selectively interpreted data to fit a narrative, ignorance, evidence, and that contradicts their beliefs. So these same dudes that talk about body count and how a woman body count is feel as though that if he inserts himself into a woman and she doesn't scream for dear God, that this is not wife material, or what would consider wife material to these dudes. Using
This
pseudoscience as pair
this on
bonding
the screen,
to,
this
to, to exploit their fucking their beliefs.
this purple screenshot has to be. Please, I hope he was trolling with a name like the Preacher Show and a fake picture. I absolutely hope he was trolling. I absolutely hope he was trolling because because if he telling, if this is how you really feel, this is a 9-year-old, this is 15-year-old boy with a fake grown up account.
One more time before we open the lines. This is we're ending with this. We're ending with this. Um, if I posted a post, for example, for the pseudoscience, it would probably be my post, and I did not want to use my post in the comments under it as examples. I'm gonna just say what the pseudoscience is. This pair bonding shit is pseudoscience. They also believe things in a relative in ways of sex with women, that we will just automatically connect through sex and not emotions. With me and my wonderful co-host on this on this other side over here, have both put out the statistics of women having orgasms. So this whole pair bonding shit, and she don't have an orgasm, bro. How the fuck is she gonna pair? She probably never pair bond with you. If that's the way you think pair bonding works. We talk about oxytocin. We talk about all different things that are intricate to pair bonding.
All right, so I'm putting the link out there
We
in the
putting the link
comments
out.
right now. Anybody that want to come up, we're gonna have to screen you. We got to screen you. I want to.
Just a little bit.
All right. Well, I ain't got to screen Maurice. That's
We,
Maurice.
we, we don't got to screen the usual suspects, but you new people, we're going to screen a little bit. Sorry, gets weird on lives.
All right. We got Victor too. Shout out to Vic.
Welcome.
Yo, what's going on? Can y'all hear me pretty good?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, Victor. You know you can, if you're on Streamyard, you can
you can stream us. You can double. You can piggyback our stream on your platform too.
Yeah.
absolutely. So you can stream your live through our destinations as well.
I'm doing it right now.
All righty. I
Yeah.
No,
encourage
what I'm
everybody that
saying,
joined that has a content
no,
creator to do that.
what I'm saying is right on the corner of the screen right now. You can just click. You ain't got to open up a separate screen yard.
Yeah, I know. I already clicked up there on it.
Oh,
I'm just
okay, you
saying,
got it.
it's,
Okay,
yeah, it's telling me to title something, so
okay, I got you,
I'm just gonna type
Maurice.
accountable
So
man.
why
So,
Yo, yo.
why he doing that? How you feel about this call out that she doing
I
for the
mean, most
extremists?
of it's on point. Most of it's on point. So I got minimal complaints, but you know me, I gotta get into the weeds and the details and
Got to
the
make it complicated. Got you.
Yeah,
nah,
yeah,
nah,
that part.
not complication.
that's exactly what he about to do too. I can tell.
It's accuracy. I'm about accuracy. All about the precision. I'm a bit of Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
You gotta be precise in what you're saying.
Yeah, here we go. It's about to be extra.
I'm ready for it though. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all the thoughts and opinions. I don't have no rebuttals, but let's go.
I don't know. You put a lot out there, so I mean, we're gonna have to take it piece by piece, chunk by chunk, or something.
I
Let's
do
just get up
have
in there
I
for
do
you.
have a index. I did put that in my notes. An index of all the topics. We had 7
Well, you
topics.
can have this pair bonding thing. I don't even care about that. You go ahead
Yeah.
with that, Maurice. That I think is either you with somebody or you're not. This is bottom line. She either like you or she don't.
I mean, yes and
I
no,
agree with Victor.
but pair bonding is it is based on actual science. You mentioned oxytocin. There's also what vasopressin, and there's another one I can't remember.
The
You know,
serotonin.
no, well, serotonin as well, but there's also another one, progesterone.
Progesterone. Yeah.
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 So all these things come into play. Oxytocin is the big one, right? It's the number one thing that actually bonds mothers to their children. But as we know, humans have this thing called the will, right? I mean, we have a desire for hunger. There's scientific reasons we feel hungry, but we can push that off and fast, right? So we do have means and methods and ways of ignoring these hormonal drives. So it doesn't mean that the concept or the reality of the thing doesn't exist. It's just that you can blunt it. Essentially, you can blunt it, which is I think what a lot of people do is they blunt it.
The reality is, it's not pair bonding, it's sexual overstimulation. That you like to, not you, but many like to recategorize or relabel as pair bonding. We're humans. We ain't even naturally monogamous. So
Is
pair bonding definitely is a myth because we do not mate for life. You will
is
always find someone else attractive.
is that based on science or pseudoscience?
It's
Based on
based on
science.
science. It's based on science.
So
You
It's
will
based in
always
science.
find
It's
someone
based in
else.
science that overstimulation creates a desensitization. So once if you a person that's consistently being promiscuous with multiple partners will become desensitized to the act with any individuals. But if that person then takes a long stint of abstinence, they have an opportunity to heal themselves and be able to build those bonds based on that action again.
Now,
Mhm.
I mean that completely coincides with pair bonding.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm
yeah.
But that's the point is that there are a group of the extremists say that if a woman has a high body count, that means she is incapable of pair bonding. That's the counter. What we're presenting is the counter is that having a high body count does not mean that you now lose your ability to pair bond.
Okay, this is a bad situation of correlation and causation, right? Like one does not cause the other. Like, but there is a correlation that if a woman is that promiscuous, then they may actually have an inability to pair bond. But that's a very extreme minority of women or people, whatever you want to label it as. And that doesn't mean that you're running around or you're or your typical run of the mill, person that's out there, right? So again, this is again another situation of where people are confusing causation for correlation.
I agree exactly what I want to say 90% of what you're saying. The
Okay,
10% is
that
the
passed.
10% for me is the infamous of saying that you will never be able to pair bond. Well, we're saying that is you have to desensitize yourself to pair bond. That doesn't mean you'll never be able to do it.
Not
You can't do it
not
right now because you're
not
overstimulated.
desensitized. Yeah, you have to just you
You
have
have
to
to
take a
you
look
have
at
to
the situation.
desensitize yourself. You're
No,
overstimulated.
not
But
you have
you,
to desensitize yourself to the overstimulation. You have to
Right.
be able to become sensitive again, is what she's trying to say. And
Absolutely.
because overstim, it's just like if I was to, smoke trees, the first time I do it, it's like, woo, I'm on cloud 35. You know what I'm saying? Then if I do it every day, by 10 years later, I'm just like, it's like a cigarette. Like, yeah, so what y'all got? It's nothing. It has absolutely no effect on me. But if I fast from it for a long period of time, I'll become sensitive to it again, to where if I take a long fast from it and go back to smoking, it's like, whoo, I ain't felt this way in a long time. It's the overstimulation is what makes it difficult for some to reestablish a romantic pair bond, not a pair bond in general. And that's the thing that also needs to be separated, because
Mm.
just because a person is promiscuous doesn't mean they're not bonded to their children, does not mean they're not bonded to their parents, does not mean they're not bonded to their best friends. So you have to make that demarcation as well.
Okay, I want to jump right there because I talk a lot about this in a roundabout way. I've spoken to Maurice. I've had engagements, you know what I'm saying, with all of you, and um, I talk about sexual discipline
Mm-hmm.
because, and that's in line with what Tim, you know what I'm saying, what Tim was just saying. If you if you live your life pursuing sexual fulfillment, it's gonna scramble your brain because men that chase vagina are usually the least trustworthy men. Generally speaking, they will throw, like, if you watch any entertainment, right? Everybody up here seen Scarface before.
yep,
I have.
What's the one rule that Tony told Manolo?
can't remember
Ooh,
exactly.
I
He
can't
said
remember exactly.
he said don't sleep with his sister,
Oh yeah,
Not my sister. He said,
not
yeah.
not
my
my sister.
sister. And what happened after he slept with his sister?
All hell broke loose.
Okay, he was coked up. He had an M203. He had everybody running behind him. He couldn't make no decisions. If you think about every first world society that's ran by some form of religious doctrine, every one of those societies has provisions and guidance for how men and women are to engage with one another. You know what I'm saying? To some degree, it's a conversation because the men that ran these societies knew how dangerous distracted men were if all they had to pursue was women. You know what I'm saying? And just like what Tim brought up before about child support and women not being entitled to it if they were unwed. You know what I'm saying? Child support was only for women that had been married, and and however that was arranged. All of this stuff amounts to that. Like, from you when you look at the foster care system, the child support system, the way children, you know what I'm saying, are counted in schools, population control, everything you think about, the census, all of this is about sexual discipline and being able to regulate how often and who is reproducing the most. And you're not talking about this conversation unless you talk about people humping.
I do agree with Vic with the when we have a conversation with male extremists. I'm gonna go male extremists because I want to get a blanket of the red pill, the manosphere, righteous sphere,
Mhm.
MGT, whatever, whomever. The male righteous sphere extremists. There is a lack of talking about sexual deviances, accountability, preferences. Like, you can't really have a sincere, real conversation about this shit. All there is just a bunch of bickering.
Right.
Even when we come down to what is perceived or expected in the household amongst. a man and a woman, or in a marriage or in a relationship. Sexual deviances definitely come in, and then they link it into some other things like being a single mother, being a SA victim, being in domestic violence, and then I think here's another thing I want to put out there: a lot of sexual deviances are more fetish than just a blanket statement of everyday how everyday people act and how they should be. Even with gender roles, that should be sounding fetish to me a lot of times.
I think a lot of it is zip code based because you see what you see wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mhm.
believe earlier, like I said, like I'm from the South. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm familiar with two parent household culture. You know what I'm saying? The traditional nuclear family, where it's like you guys out in California right now, right? And you
No,
said
I'm in Philly. He's in Cali. He's
who's in Cali?
somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, but regionally specific, like I know a lot of guys that's like from up north. I've had consultations from guys. I pay attention to where are my clients coming from, right? That
Hmm.
need whatever they need. And regionally speaking, most men from all the way out west and up on the East Coast, they generally don't grow up with two parents.
Hmm.
So and their family structures are based on survival, single mother homes. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to rap music, like even when you go back and listen to Wu-Tang song Cream, the first verse was I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job. I had second hands. Moms bounced on old man. And most of the music comes from uh, young men trying to survive in the street that's been raised without no man in the house because the man that mom created them with was in and out of jail too. You know what I'm saying? Was on and off the bottle too, and then so on and so forth. This pattern, you can't replicate something you've never experienced. So the only resume you got is your children's behavior. You know what I'm saying? And the choices that they make. And these guys talking about being a teen and going upstate to Rikers for selling. You know what I'm saying? Dope. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? When you think about now in our big ages, think about what you was doing when you was 12 or 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? And if you grew up with both your parents, you don't have the same story as you know what I'm saying, in terms of that type of
But
survival in
that's
most cases.
not the. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's not true necessarily. Being as though, hi, my name is Benny. First of all, I'm new to
Yeah,
this whole manosphere, red pill, blue pill. I'm 46. When red pill, blue pill was introduced to me, that was the awakening of what the government is doing. It had nothing to do with men and women. So this is all new to me, honestly,
yeah,
right? If y'all date back that far, right? But
yeah. I'm
it's
45,
true in
so
a
we're in the
sense,
same space.
and not in a sense. I grew up on East Coast, like Pac said, East Coast born, West Coast raised. I really came into my manhood on the West Coast, where I seen just like the East Coast, two parent households, and it's a choice. Men in our age chose to say, "Yo, New Jersey drive stealing cars. I'm gonna steal cars too." They got a mom and dad there, right? So I'm big on accountability. And I will say what I'm hearing from the red pill, whether it's extremist or novice, whatever, there's no accountability for men. And until we address that and not say, oh, well, it's because of this parent, I didn't do this. No, you had a choice. Just like mom, dad, grandmom, everybody got the same speech if they're black. If everyone else is going to jump off the bridge, are you going to do it?
You know,
That's
you
where
know,
that I
you,
became
you,
a follower and not a
mm,
leader aspect. So if you're going to be a follower from day one, you're going to follow people over the bridge. You got to hold yourself accountable and say, "Oh, I'm not following that. It's a dead end." I had a conversation earlier with, and men are submissively trained this way now, and we don't even realize it. If you see a brick wall, aren't you going to tell your friend, "Yo, it's a brick wall right there"? Or are you going to follow your friend to the brick wall and then have an argument about who didn't tell who it was a brick wall? Men have to be held accountable, especially us with this skin. Regardless, I don't care who raised you, you chose. It wasn't the society around you. It wasn't the streets pulled you in. Peer pressure is not that strong. If you're not strong mentally, say it. I'm not a strong man mentally. A lot of men want to hide behind barriers and um, uh,
I'm
symbolizations of what they're supposed to be. and not choosing to say, hey, you know what, I'm better than that. Again,
I want to say this right here because this is the part where I agree with you. For we're taking different paths and different routes to the same goal. So I want to make sure I'm capturing that. I don't want to make it seem like I'm disagreeing because I target, you know what I'm saying, what I do, and I have clients that I consult, and I've looked at a lot of different patterns of behavior because that's what my expertise and my background is, right? And the main thing that's consistent with all of this is not just poor sexual discipline. Most people that are sexually undisciplined have poor emotional discipline. Now, then that is strongly correlated with the choices that people make. Now, generally speaking, the reason I said that the single parent household produces less emotionally disciplined men and women is because the absence of the father is the absence of discipline by and large. Everybody knows this. You know what I'm saying? Accountable men being present, strong masculine figures. It may not be true for your individual story, but statistically, that they track this stuff for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said before, you got to think about population control, census data, welfare, all of these other programs that get incentive, they grant incentives. You know what I'm saying?
Grant incentives too. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the only reason I'm saying it, because we have to understand why the entities that run the country track the same information that we're over here having disagreements about or quarrels about or for whatever personal experience, but not anecdotal experience. You got macro and then you got micro. The micro is that, yeah, you're not fixing to go, like the analogy you gave, you're not going to be a follower and just go willingly follow yourself. You know what I'm saying? Follow people just because they did something. But the macro is there's a farm system that has an account. It accounts for people. Like, just like there are schools for women, young ladies in high school that are pregnant, they send them over to a different school. Why do you think they do that? You know what I'm saying? And then they groom them with certain programs that'll help them get into the workforce faster because they want more single mothers in the workforce. And that in turn, it divides up the household. Instead of you and your significant other nested under one roof, now you got the woman got her own house and the man got her own house. You subsidize
house.
Exactly. Yeah. So you split it up. It's like having it's the difference between buying a duplex or buying a single family home. Which one are you going to get the most rent money from? The duplex or the single family home? You could charge different. You could charge two rents on the duplex versus one underneath one roof. So that's what I'm saying. That's the way that they divide things up. You got to look at why we are counted the way that we count. You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious though. I'm curious because it seemed like he had an argument because he seemed to have balked against the idea of a single family household. And I'm curious what his argument is, if we have time for that. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. It kind of cut when you were saying
Vinny. I don't, because I come from that. I know that, again, it's choices. I had friends that grew up in double parent households. I don't have a criminal record. They do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what a lot of men don't see when, and I'll say this is a judgment thing, whether it's based on science, whether based on this, whether you want to base it on, it's a judgment thing, that single parent is automatically bad, instead of, again, you don't know the situation, whether dad left mom left dad was beating on mom. You don't know. No one knows. All we know is this child is probably undisciplined or lacks direction, right? That's what we may know. But I also know, if statistics won't show, that there's also, again, double parent households where that child lacks no direction. This child came in pregnant at 16. She got a mom and a dad. No one accounts for that. I knew a lot of kids that young women went through that program where they went to schools, right? Because they got pregnant. They come from double parent households. I've seen the ones that come from single parent households get straight A's, they're at the top of their class. And the ones that come from double parent, they're lagging behind trying to prove themselves. You know what I mean?
Can I add on to that?
Can I add on the environment? Get it out.
If I could just follow up with one question, please.
Well, because I can hold on to my thought. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me. The reason I was going to ask the question: do you think Well, it's kind of two-part question. Do you think that you would have fared better if you had a father? And do you think those two parent households where the children didn't do all that great, do you think they would have done better if they didn't have a father?
You
That's a
know
loaded
what?
ass
This is what I'll
question.
say. No, because this is something even as a man I thought about raising my own child, right? You know, like daggone, there's some things I'm missing because I didn't have that dad, right? But I know I had strong male figures. So I had to take where that one guy who grew up with those few guys I knew that grew up with double parent households, they really focused on one man and they're trying to focus to be better than that man, right? Which everyone knows, and I know with this now with my own child, to live up to your father's expectation can be a downfall. And I gotta constantly remind myself and my child that, hey, listen, you're going to be whoever you choose to be, as long as you're better than me at this point in life. And when I was 21, this is what I was doing. I hope you're not doing this at 21, because I'm teaching you better. You don't have to be me. I don't want you to fight I've seen people from double parent household men try to struggle to be their dad because their dad thought that, hey, listen, I'm going to make you just like me. And that dad was a womanizer. That dad was an alcoholic. That dad never took accountability for who he was. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on your environment and who you are as a man, where we're all going to have a say to say, hey, this person is lacking this in their manhood. This person lacking this in their manhood. But it's all about who you choose to be as a man.
Again, I think you're taking apart my question, though.
I don't. Right? I hear what you're saying, but there's no definite answer because, like,
can I get in here just a second?
I'm just trying to get what you think would be. Would you think it would have been that these children would have fared off better in these situations, in the situation of the single?
I don't. Again, go ahead, because I can't. I don't know if I'm answering it.
Can I get in?
I'm answering it the best I can. Explain it to you.
I'll let him go.
Okay, so first I want to say shout out to everybody watching, everybody in the comments. If you want to come onto the panel, there is a link in the comments. 2, I want to say that to your point, Maurice, and to the point that of the overall topic is that, of course, two parents being there don't automatically mean success. It's if you live in a household and you grow up and your mother's abusive, your father's abusive, one of your parents is on drugs or something like that, just because both of them there doesn't automatically equate to success. But the whole fact of the matter is that if you have fairly decent parents, you're going to turn out a whole lot better than if you just had one fairly decent parent by doing everything by themselves, because you'll have more resources. You'll have, in a lot of cases, there'll be an extra income. So you have more resources to put you in a lot of different extracurricular activities, a lot of extra resources to put you into programs and for that child to actually do things and cater to that child's overall experience in life. Also a 2-parent household where they're both fairly decent, they're going to live in a neighborhood that's going to give that child access to a better school, because they're going to live in a neighborhood that has property taxes, and schools are typically funded by property taxes, versus a housing project where no one owns the house. So what property taxes are funneling to those schools? The state is the city is paying the school to you know what I'm saying, versus the property taxes funded the school. So there's a lot of nuances that are in there, but for the most part, what I think we're trying to get at is that if they're in a household where both parents are reasonably decent people, not on drugs, not abusive, nothing crazy like that, that those children tend to have better outcomes than a parent doing it by themselves. And I land the plane.
I think single parent households exist. I think as of right now, the last I saw was that single mother homes lead the count at like 51. I think somewhere between 51 and 55%.
54.
Yeah, 54, somewhere in those numbers, right?
Yeah.
I think that I think there's a split based on that data. I think there's a matriarchal demographic of men and women, and I think that there's a patriarchal demographic of men and women, because when we go like that whole conversation right there was like Maurice, he probably was raised with his father, and just like Vinny said, he wasn't, right, and he comes from the single mother format, and it's not necessarily a clash of ideas. I think we're getting better at that, but I do believe more conflicts are coming. You know what I'm saying, between less emotionally balanced people. But when it happens, we need to start paying attention to it. Like I'm saying, like it's a suggestion anyway. You know, there's a demographic of people that does not understand what it's like to be raised with only one parent, and it's not a negative thing. It's just we're not the same.
It's a lack of perspective.
It is a perspective.
Yeah,
Absolutely, you
it's
guys.
that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. I'm talking about we need to have increased objectivity, and the I believe that both sides need to listen to to each other, and I think that the demographic that comes from the two parent side, from the patriarchal group of people, they have an objective view. You know, from both, from having a mother and a father underneath the same roof, and a two parent structure that comes with aunts and uncles on both sides of the family to reinforce whatever the family names and values and morals and stuff that goes with that.
Mhm.
Whereas like you meet more people that's on the single mother side of it, most of them were raised with a bunch of women, and they grew up seeing mothers and daughters fight each other. The conflicts are completely different. The power struggle is different on the single mother side, and that's just from me talking to my clients. You know what I'm saying, from going back and forth, and then you know what I'm saying, getting the chance to understand things. The first thing I ask them when they have a problem with me, like when I talk to women and they talk to me about their relationship outcomes, and the first thing I ask them is that, how was the man raised that you was with? You know what I'm saying? Look at the large, like say if you've been with 5 men, right? How many of those men did you have a good relationship with? And then the men that you had good relationships with, did they have a father? And then, so what was the conflict? You know what I'm saying? And then generally speaking, they all say the same thing. You know, my best relationship was with the guy that had his dad. All of them say the same thing, and they came from seeing marriage, seeing women respect men, and that changes your self-perception, because if you look at the model of the man or the woman that's raised by just a woman, the man is going to get his experience, his game from how to deal with women, from how his mother deals with men. And then the daughter is going to conduct herself in a way that's relative, that you know what I'm saying, that the mother may find competitive, because
Can I? Can I?
because
I want
most of
to wait. I got next. Let him
I know
finish.
you still got to talk. Yeah, sorry. I
yeah,
apologize. I apologize.
yeah, so most of the women that come from that scenario, generally speaking, they usually the oldest daughter, and their mom had them when they were 16 or 17 years old. So they grew up kind of close with that woman, you know what I'm saying? That's also her mother, and they develop a lot of competitive energy. It's the truth, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm talking about macro and micro. Micro is your anecdotal individual experience, the people you know around you, you know, and macro is the large sample general population outcome. That both things are true at the same time. That's why I say there's a patriarchal, and I think that there's a matriarchal way that we need to be looking at this.
Okay, I want to say this. First, I'm gonna start off with when it comes down, because he said a lot. Y'all said a lot. Okay. One of the things you guys touched on was our music, our art. I want to say for us black folks and brown folks, most of the most beautiful art probably came from a person that went through a lot of shit. That's just how art
Rap
is.
music, rap music came from people that went through a lot of shit,
Uh,
men with trauma, and didn't get a chance to voice it out through no
even
other.
even even our art, as far as our Mona Lisa. If you didn't know that, he did not grow up with his mother and father either. So a lot of our art, what we deem is the most beautiful, the most moving, the most motivating thing, is coming from these broken ass places. I want to make that known first. Now, moving into the single mother, and not the single mother, the notion of marriage in the black community. I just want to touch this for a second. There's two different black people. There's the bourgeois.
Bourgeoisie.
There's the average black person.
Le
No, there's
bourgeoisie.
three. You forgot the ninjas.
Oh, into the ninjas. Into the ninjas. But I just want to talk about the bourgeois and the average. We're not, like you said, the macro and the and what else you said?
The
Micro.
ninjas. The macro,
No,
the
no,
micro.
no.
The macro,
Macro,
the macro,
big picture, micro,
the small.
The
the
picture.
macro and the micro.
yes.
Okay. So the macro, the smaller picture is the ninjas. The bigger picture is the average black folk and the bourgeois. Now hear me out. Everything that a new cluster black family has is modeled is modeled not by colonialism, like old folks. We're not old. We're not that old. We're a little modern than that. It's more modeled around the idea of capitalism in black community, as if you can do something like that. So when that idealism, you can't, like, there's no black capitalism as a black person without going through a white person in America. That's just how it's designed. So when we think about a lot of our family system setup is through capitalism, especially when you got this patriotism and matriarch shit, as if that really pertains to us outside of welfare and systematic beliefs. Well, systematic, not beliefs, but systematic policies. Outside of that, we just have choices. Outside of the systematic things that are against us as black people, you just have choices. You have your past, you have your trauma, and you're supposed to learn from all of these things. From
Can I
all
get
of
in there?
these things. I'm gonna let you get in there. Like, I let everybody go. I ain't interjecting on nobody. So we supposed to learn from these things. That's just my message for a lot of the, since I'm the one that brought this shit up. That's just my message. We're supposed to learn from these things. And I guess with me and Mr. Victor down there, because he's down there on my page, I don't know how, what we argue a lot is perfectionism. And I aspire, I'm one of those women that be like, yeah, that'd be a perfect world if shit was just like that. But I'm more of a realist, and he's more of a person that just, like our forefathers, that I gotta dream shit and not like but with a little Marcus Garvey little twist, brother, I must say.
Yeah. I believe, I
I
believe,
must say,
I
and I
believe,
land my plane.
yeah, I believe in discourse. Like, you got your perspective of the world, and it deserves to be heard. And where we lose is that when people pick a side and say your side isn't real because of my individual micro experience. You know what I'm saying? And then you get a chance to miss it's intentional dismissive. It's cognitive dissonance in the flesh. It's like saying somebody from Australia doesn't exist, or Australia is not a real country because you never met somebody from there. You know what I'm saying?
Never
Like,
been
just because you've never been there don't mean it don't exist.
there. Right.
That's why we leave from where we leave to go discover what we discover. I got people telling me, what I'm saying, like, my individual experience in the army is not relevant to somebody that's never been in. How can you say that? So if you got some information from it that has allowed you or enabled you to speak with conviction, maybe you should listen to those people because they probably saying something.
Okay, so what I wanted to get in on was kind of bringing it all the way back, because you guys brought up marriage and single family homes and things like that. Well, this whole live initially started with Morphine calling out a group of gentlemen in a Kevin Samuels group. And where I'm going to call Cap in this Kevin Samuels group, and the extremists that we're talking about are the ones that have perverted KS's message. because KS's message was actually to bring back the nuclear family. His message was get off your high horse and stop being delusional and go work it out with your baby daddy and put that family back together. That was KS's message. His message wasn't the whole passport, bro. Oh, go get a woman from another spot and go this exercise. That wasn't his message. His message was y'all need to get off your high horse, stop acting like you were 10 when you were 4, and humble yourself and put that family back together so that we as a community can grow, because we're the only community that I've seen, unless y'all can break down other communities that don't promote that don't promote marriage, because every other group gets married, every other group benefits from marriage. They benefit from having dual incomes, they buying houses, their kids are turning out wonderful, they going to colleges and all of that. And what are we doing? we literally as a community are the cliche of baby mama and baby daddy. Like literally.
Well, there is that, baby. Yes.
I gotta say this, and this held true to me in the past, and I know this holds true for our community. Our ideal of marriage is warped, and it's not what it's supposed to be according to our needs, right? If we marriage based on what people tell us, and that's real. We base marriage off of what the look should be, when they don't know that in this culture, this person has a betrothed marriage. They don't know in this culture, this person married a woman that has a dowry. We don't know certain, and we don't take accountability in that. And neither do we teach our kids. It's been out here that, preach that, dual family household, blah, blah, blah. But if I go to marry your daughter, she don't come with nothing except with princess rules. She don't come with anything.
And they like that shit. And they promote that. Like,
again, it's like we could promote what the messages truly should be, is that promote family. Just because you and this person didn't work out, that don't mean y'all can't be family. Family means that somewhere, if she's down on her luck, she could come to me and this is her home too. Mi casa e su casa. If I'm down on my luck, me and her have a good rapport as co-parents, that I could go to her home and say, hey, I need somewhere to sleep. I don't care who I'm dealing with. This is my family. And we don't promote that love. We only say love is only if we're married. First and foremost, y'all didn't plan this baby. Y'all didn't plan this marriage out properly. You didn't take this much to court this woman, this amount of time. She doesn't come with this. You didn't, before you even got married, you didn't ask her father's permission or her mother's permission. You didn't do all these things to promote this kind of, marriage is what keeps our community. No, love is what kept our community. Not everybody was married in the 60s. Not everybody was married in the 70s. Not everybody was married in the 50s. It was love. It was, hey, I love you as my brother. I love you as my brother. Regardless of what your insight on life is, I respect it, but we have a goal to reach, and it's our freedom. We forgot that look of, hey, this is what freedom's supposed to look like. Each one teach one. We promote, hey, you, again, only 2 parents can raise a family. Instead of, it took a neighborhood to raise me. It took a neighborhood to raise the people that had dual parents households. We don't promote community. We don't promote love. We promote what this person said. But what about the true nature of who we are? Forget all of that statistics. Forget all of what science says. What does your human nature tell you about black man and black woman? I should love you regardless because of what we got to go through. Not because of who you went through, not because of where you come from. I'm not judging you what parent household you come from. It's what your hindsight is and what education brought you this far. And are you educated enough to have a conversation about growth and prosperity? If you're not, either I need to teach you or I need to talk to someone else. But it's all right, brother. It's all right, sister. I'm going to roll you along eventually. And I think we lost true hindsight of that as a black nation, as a culture, and what our forefathers truly went through. And that's just, I don't care about where people come from, what they've been through. I really care about where you want to be in life. Because if your mind isn't open enough to what's out there for us, then you'll never know. You'll miss the simple fact that regardless of how your baby mom treated you, you treated her wrong too. be held accountable for that and move on. Let's raise this child to be better than us. And no one looks at that. They only look at, only a mom and dad could do that together. Yeah, that don't necessarily make it be the same house. You just gotta love each other. Where's that thought at? That's why I never listened to Kevin Samuels and nothing that followed him, because he sounded like a bitter man that chose the wrong woman and didn't treat her right, didn't satisfy her in no way possible, and he got caught up out there. He thought just because I took care of you and did all of this that you're supposed to be a housewife, and he forgot that, hey, you got to take care of a housewife too. He forgot.
Hey, Vinny, everything you're saying is absolutely necessary in an aspirational sense, but duty and discipline is the only thing that gets results. So, like, people aren't getting married out of a sense of duty to an obligation. You know what I'm saying? They treating it like it's something to do, and nothing worth accomplishing does not happen without discipline and duty.
Why would you get married for business instead of obligation? First and foremost, that's what I think a lot of people miss. Most people got married for business reasons. I'm obligated to move the family along. If we're talking that way about marriage, meaning my family has this, your family has that, let's come together to build this. If we're talking that, but we don't get married for that. We get married because, I had a baby, or I love you. What? It should technically be for business, because if we looked at marriage from a business standpoint, things would be different. It would.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying there's a patriarchal version of the same community. There's a matriarchal version that doesn't have this type of conversation, or about getting married for purpose. You know what I'm saying? And getting married because they want to set a foundation for the generations of children that come after them, if that's the case, or whatever their legacy aim is. It's got to have a purpose involved, like the people that don't have a purpose, a higher purpose or a goal, or they're not going to see the value in marriage, or if they do get married, they're not going to value the construct of it the same way that somebody would if they got a plan to have, like, we're going to have 5, 6, 7 sons. We're going to have them go do this. We're going to have them go to school this way. Like for instance, Christian McCaffrey played for the 49ers, right? His dad was an athlete. Then his mom was an Olympic athlete. His dad groomed him to, be a professional athlete himself. And we see how that worked out. Look at LeBron. Look at just like all of the entertainers that we're seeing, that do that. I'm not saying that that's the hallmark stamp. I'm not basing that off of entertainers. But what I'm saying is that there are men that recognize their influence that they have on their offspring, and they doing it for the right reasons.
But so you're right. I sorry to cut you, but you're right. It's like if your daughter is a dancer and my son is a singer. Hey, listen, y'all should come. We need to court each other. Hey, listen, y'all to do this so that way our offspring. Let's make sure. I get you. It's just we got to look at it again, macro. If we're going to build the foundation of a nation, hey, our carpenters and our plumbers maybe need to. We have women carpenters. We have men plumbers. Maybe they need to get together with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Now we have a company. I get it. It's just we got to understand that. It's not levels to it, it's priorities to it. And what's our priority?
I agree with you. Yeah, if I can say two things in regards to this. First thing is the concept of marriage is a question I've been asking on just about any place I've been able to speak. We need a definition of what that is first. Like, all this types of getting together, hookups, meeting together, whatever you're calling these things, everybody's got their own special definition of what a marriage is.
Yeah.
We need to figure out what a marriage is. What is that ideal marriage? And understand that nothing outside of that can be considered a marriage. You can call it whatever you want, but it's not a marriage.
I don't think that's ever possible. I don't think marriage is a blanket concept that one can fit, or a phenotype one can fit into.
No. There's They have done it. It's been done.
It didn't work out. They had a whole feminist movement because of it.
Well, no,
marriage is.
I'm just stating the facts.
I agree with Maurice. Marriage is an ideal to an individual in a community.
Exactly.
It's an ideal.
But
You know
with
what I
ideals-
mean? Just like
with-
me saying
ideals-
marriage is for business. It's an ideal. It's how I see it.
Okay,
Where
but with
someone else
ideals,
may see it.
we have to understand that no matter what ideal it is, you're going to come up short to what that ideal is. So when you
Okay, I agree that.
and all this other stuff, because things came up short to that ideal, but it doesn't mean that the ideal is incorrect, right?
Why?
There's this attempt that because we didn't meet the ideal, then the ideal is incorrect. We may need to look at the ideal to figure out, you know what, maybe there's something wrong with it, but we don't get rid of the ideal.
I don't want to seem like an ass or a hyena, but if something is not working and you keep doing it, isn't that what Einstein called insanity?
All right, check this out. Hold on, check this out. So I looked up here on AI, and let's see what is considered, air quotes, marriage. Commitment, keyword, a lifelong promise to love, care, and stand by one another. Number 2, love, emotional, physical, and spiritual connection. 3, a partnership, shared responsibilities, shared decisions and goals. 4, intimacy, physical and emotional closeness. 5, communication, open and honest exchange of thoughts, feelings, and desires. 6, trust, faith in each other over integrity and loyalty. Faith in each other's integrity and loyalty. Support, encouragement to help in personal growth and development. Compromise, willing to go through differences and find common ground. Lastly, loyalty, fidelity. So I agree with all of this. Now,
okay.
I got another explanation, but go ahead.
In agreeing with all of this is what I was going to get to. In agreeing with all of this, how many people you speak to about a marriage and they're going to be nitpicking and pulling certain stuff out of this list?
Right.
Of course, that's human nature.
And they'll say, "Oh, well, my marriage doesn't work that way. My marriage works this way. This my marriage." This is why I'm saying about you need a formalized understanding of what the ideal marriage is. If you come up short to that or you don't meet that criteria, what you have is not a marriage. Whether you want to call it, I'm more speaking in the more spiritual, more fluid sense of the concept of marriage, rather than the legal sense and more concrete understanding. Because we can put down these legal lines of what a marriage is, but it doesn't. Like people. We know that people can purport an idea and a thought process without actually living that life in process, right? This is what we call liars typically, right? Or hypocrites, right? People that call themselves Christians or Muslims, but they don't actually live the life of Christian and Muslim. Same thing that people say, I have a great marriage, but they don't actually live that great marriage, right? So I'm speaking more in that spiritual, more fluid sense of the concept of marriage. There needs to be an ideal. And then that ideal is something that we need to be searching for or reaching towards in order to be able to get it. You on the same page? I'm just looking for understanding rather than.
I mean,
it sounds wordy for no reason.
What that guy said, this is the reason why I like him.
Yeah, like I listen to all of that. That's like word salad. Number one, it's a legally recognized union. Let's just say it, that there's the paperwork that follows it. You know what I'm saying? At the state,
reading the same definition I'm reading,
and then because these are just real simple terms, because people waste a lot of time debating what they think this ideal is. It's never gonna happen. The 2-parent family is not as popular as the single parent family. That's what we keep talking about, right? So the majority of the conversation, people are going to be looking for answers that are custom fit. But the general definition is a legally recognized union. That's part one. And the other part of it is the spiritual side, depending on who, what belief system that people get married within. So it's really that easy. So
there is no definition that says anything about spirit. It says marriage is socially and legally recognized union between two
I'm
individuals, typically involving a commitment that live and share as life partners. Even at the first marriages had nothing to do with spiritual. It was
I
very financial.
I get that part before the law and everything else came into
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about the people that recognize marriage under Christian law of God. You know what I'm saying? The people that say it's a covenant between God, man, and woman. It's the umbrella, the whatever the traditional household, like your conservative Republicans, they look at marriage completely different. You know what I'm saying? Than probably everybody else. Your evangelicals, there's a
Yeah,
like
that's why I get what you're saying. That's why they
yeah,
group
this is what I'm
sex,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
like,
marriage.
but you got black conservatives, you got black liberals that look at this the same, look at it differently. But if they are Christian, they operate out of the same text. They operate out of the same covenant that's been written, generally speaking. And most places they, like shit, the Quran got its own, protocol, what I'm saying, for marriage as well, in terms of how men and women supposed to operate with each other. It's a covenant. It's about being complementary to each other instead of competitive. You know what I'm saying? In its most plain sense, you don't marry somebody that you at war with. You don't marry somebody that you're not willing to protect, and you don't get with somebody. You don't pick a woman that's going to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? So a covenant means like I got your back through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying? Through sickness and health, and all the other, what I'm saying, aspirational words that are in line with what we're talking about. The ideal marriage is based on your personal discipline. It's based on your personal sense of duty, your commitment, not somebody else's example, because you don't know the personality and psychology of anyone else. Stop looking at other people, looking for these examples. Be the example that you want other people to be. Be the example of an ideal person in a marriage, like the one you got in your head, like the expectation you have of your wife and the expectation you got of your husband. Be the complementary piece that makes it worth doing.
All right. Well,
Marriage, but
second point.
marriage was
one of the
supposed to be about business.
it was
That's what it
always
was.
meant for
It
it was
was
always, if you
meant.
date back, it was always about business. It was always
But
about
It
business.
was
It
about
was
it,
coming
it,
forth
inheritance.
for
Now,
It was
it,
about like
don't you have to
implications of
defend
such
between?
but let's hold on,
partnerships.
hold on.
But listen.
Throw
Listen.
one
Hear me
thing.
out. Hear
Hold
me
on.
out.
Can I
A
throw
lot of
one
the
thing
things
out
that
there?
y'all said is socialisms. So I want to say that.
Can I throw one thing out there? One thing I believe we as a black community need to understand is that a lot of that stuff was never meant for us. We gotta understand
disagree.
it. We
I
gotta
disagree.
understand it, and that's not. Uh, 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 I'm not being racist. It's like we just have to come to that understanding. Is hey, our sense of what we need to do as a community is different from everyone else. It's
That
different
part. We can't do people.
what it is. Like
But
our
here's the thing, though,
dollars
bro.
and how we circulate it, just everything needs to be rotated back to again, man, woman, sit down and actually discuss what we want for the future and make sure our ducks are aligned in the same order and not don't pretend that you could be a housewife when you're not. And man, don't act like you're making 100 million a year when you know you only make 50,000 and you need that extra income. So hey, baby, we need to have a 2-income home.
Right.
Until I get to a
This is the
one
thing.
income and you could be a housewife, we don't need to have kids. We need to make sure, hey,
But
we
see,
stack this nest egg first. You see what I'm saying? That's why I always say it's the business deal. Because two people have to think nowadays, unless again you're a man or you're a woman making over 100,000 a year, there's no way you could come into an average Joe relationship thinking, I'm gonna build us a nation on one income, and a loaf of bread is $5.
but see, this is where
I
this is
agree with
where I
what you
disagree
said.
with you. But hold on, this is where I disagree. I disagree when he went with the part when he said this isn't necessarily for our people, because even historically, if you go into Africa and all of that, when villages and things had crisis or they were at war, there was a type of beef. The way that they ended the wars was to have a union between the tribes. They married two individuals from the two different tribes, and now these tribes were no longer at war because they were now family. So
Business.
and that was a business transaction
That was
too.
a business transaction.
So I won't. That's why I said I disagree with you when you said that it isn't for us, but because it's a practice that we also did as Africans.
I mean, in a sense of how people other than us portray marriage as, you know, you're supposed to be in love. You're supposed to, you know, no, it's not about that. For us at this point in time in our lives, it's like if you look at China and other countries, you got to have a license to have kids. Throughout the black community, we need to have a drop squad to say, hey, y'all two can't have kids. You know, I'm being facetious, but we need to really say, hey, y'all can't have kids. They're not going to produce anything. No, you're from the projects, this person from the other side. Y'all need to come together. Maybe y'all could grow some prosperity. She should be a good housewife. You know how to keep house. And you should be a hardworking man. Y'all go do that together. But no, y'all two are two ghetto people that should not have kids. So, I mean, not saying that to be, you know, I'm saying it to be smart. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
So I want to talk about what's on the screen right now. This is what Vic just threw out there. It's hard to be a housewife or a husband when you weren't raised by two parents, neither. So the way that I say this exact same phrase, as I say it as is, you don't know how to be a housewife or a husband if you've never seen it yourself. If the only example you've ever had of what a husband and a wife in a healthy relationship are is Bill Cosby, the Cosby Show, you know, Family Matters and all of that type of stuff, that's heartbreaking. And the reason why is that that's all presented as fantasy. So, you know, I've been married 15 years. My parents were married 19 years up until my father passed away. So I grew up in a household. Well, you know, it wasn't necessarily a healthy relationship, but I still learned the responsibilities and had an example set for me firsthand from the day I opened my eyes until my father passed away of what a two-parent household is, what the roles of a man is, and what is a man's duty, what's a woman's duty to do. Now, granted, my parents are, my mother is 77 today. They they had a very true traditional lifestyle. Like my father went to work, my mom stayed home and raised all the kids and all of that, you know, and we see these arguments that get made for that today by individuals that are extreme that say, I want my wife to do all of these wifely duties, but she still has to go to work and help me with the bills. That's a contrast to saying you want a traditional household. So it's like what has to happen now is that where the cycle of life we live in right now has to be reconstructed, because we live in a society right now that women are not, I repeat, women are not gonna say, you're in control of my life, because that's how a lot of women, not all, but that's how a lot of women understand what marriage is, you know, this man wants me to be his slave, you know, so on and so forth. So there needs to be some type of, somebody put in the comments earlier about compromising. Before you even get married, both people need to express what their expectations of a marriage is before you can, because otherwise you're going in blind. You're going in, if he goes in expecting, well, this is what my idea of marriage is, and she has, well, this is my idea of what marriage is, and that conversation is never had, that marriage failed before it even got started. Because if you don't, if there is no conversation of what you expect, then you can get no out. You're not going to get the outcome that you want. And I'll end the plane.
There was a lot said there.
So my second point.
You're right. So I said that.
Yeah, my second point was on cycles. Yeah, everything that we're talking about is a cycle, right? These are all generational cycles, right? And there was a question I saw pop up that kind of spurred this thought of, um, understanding where do we need to fix this cycle, right? Everybody's like, okay, women need to stop sleeping around. People are saying men need to be sexually disciplined. They're saying, oh, we're all screwed up anyways because our parents didn't do it, right? There's always this externalization, right? If men are blaming women, women are blaming men, everybody blaming their parents, so there's this externalization. Nobody's actually taking any type of responsibility for where they are at in the cycle. Wherever you are, you're somewhere in this cycle.
Mhm.
And it's your choice whether to perpetuate the cycle in the same direction that it's going. That's going to either send it down the toilet bowl or lift it up into this, area of generational wealth or whatnot, right?
Right.
So again, what do we need to do as Black people to help us out of it? It's not we, it's you. You need to pick up where you are, figure out what it is that you need to do so that you don't perpetuate the same nonsense that puts you back in the same scenario that you were in before.
Discipline.
Individualism. Individual.
And you know what?
Discipline.
And
Discipline.
just to piggyback off of what Maurice said, because I totally agree, and Madison, I agreed on a lot of things you said. I try to treat my co-parent as if that's my family, and I tell everybody when someone says, "Oh, yo, I can't stand my blood," yo, don't do that. Not in front of the kid. Regardless of how you feel about her, never voice that in public. I know a friend that goes online, I can't stand, like, I'll go in his inbox. Don't do that. That's not what you want everyone to see. If that's how you feel, keep that between you and her. It's not for the public. It's certain things. It's like the Departed when he said, I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me. And that goes back to something I said from the beginning. We just got to show love to each other from the beginning. I don't care where you come from. If our goals are aligned, regardless of how we want to reach them, it's the same goal. How can I help you? How can you help me? Whether it's a barter system, whether it's quid pro quo, whether it's I'm doing it on the strength, we got to figure out how we can both reach our same goals because we're both looking at it the same way. And if that 2 becomes 4, that 4 becomes 6, then so be it. But I really believe until regardless, like a discussion like this, and no one's upset, no one gets mad, I take things from everyone. I hope someone took something from me and apply it. You know what I mean? And not, oh, that person, he don't know what he was talking about. No, the brother made valid points. Whether I like it or not, he made valid points. The sister made valid points. I'm not going to discredit her. I'm not going to say she don't know shit. I'm going to say, you know what? I may not have agreed with it, but it's a valid point, and you're right. You're right about that point. We just got to do that with, like I said, love and integrity. Again, I'm also from the military, so I try to teach that core value of integrity, self-service, self-worth, selflessness, integrity, honor. You know what I'm saying? I try to teach that to everyone around me because I know that's what some of my forefathers did before they picked up that gun and protected our brothers and sisters from strange fruit. I know that's what they did. They went to the military too. I wanted to follow that path. You know what I mean? I wanted to be strong like them because I don't come from that era. So I don't know what they talk about, but I know I need to have that strength in me to pass it on to the next generation. And again, each one teach one. We always got to live that because it's us. Yeah. And I'll land the plane on that one. Like,
yeah. Morphine, you brought me to a conversation earlier when you talked about separatism, right?
Mhm.
And Vinny's talking about, fixing the community from the emotional standpoint, because everybody got to heal their heart too, you know what I'm saying, in order to participate. I keep echoing discipline, because you cannot build anything worth sustaining with the wrong people. You got to get the undisciplined people out of the way. You can't build wealth without trust. You can't build families without trust. You can't build anything of value worth retaining. Like, for instance, right, we all know about Greenwood and Black Wall Street being burned down in 1921, but nobody talks about after that devastation that they rebuilt it. So think about that. Think about seeing all that trauma and destruction that you can simulate, and then having the wherewithal, the community, the resources, and the commitment to your community to rebuild it, you know. So we don't have that right now. So you got a lot of undisciplined people that like to spectate. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They're not going to participate. You know what I'm saying? And then you put them in the boat with you, they're going to poke holes in the same boat. There's plenty of memes that describe these people. So you have to develop a way to vet who is for you and who is against you. So when I'm up here talking about discipline versus undisciplined, sexual discipline, and all these other things, understand these are the people that destroy our community from within. The people that have children recklessly, you know what I'm saying, with no resources behind them and already got a reckless amount of kids that they wouldn't take care of. And then they reproducing with men that already got 4 or 5 kids that they're not taking care of, never married anything. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing to hand off. And we talking about rebuilding the community with people that don't have nothing to hand off. That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the accountability discussion, when it comes down to repeat and fail processes, is the definition of insanity, right? So the first time is on me. The second time is also on me. The third time I'm mentally ill. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Because
I would say that.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is that if we're gonna actually turn a corner instead of just keep talking about these same ailments and keep diagnosing the symptoms and start talking about solving the problem and actually issuing a cure, people got to choose a side. It's just the bottom line. Everybody can't go. That's what it means. You either disciplined or undisciplined. There ain't number 2 mindsets in the world, man.
Hold on.
Hold up. If 80% of the time you're focused on something negative, you are part of the problem.
You are. If that's all you talk about, that's all you see, that's all that comes to you. That's all that's in your feeds. That's all that comes up on your YouTube and all. You are putting that shit in.
You are the algorithm. Exactly.
You are the algorithm.
But Victor, you're pushing up against a very common trope right now, which is inclusivity. Everything you're talking about is exclusivity.
It is.
Everything you're talking about is exclusivity, right?
You gotta earn it. Maurice, you gotta earn it.
Everybody can't go, and
they gotta earn it.
I'm with you. I understand the concept. I'm just saying I'm putting it out there because
I don't care what you put out there. Those are the people I decide. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't.
And he has. It's many times I posted. I mentioned him on post, and he be like, "Yo, listen, I'm not even paying this no mind. This is like low to me. Like I'm cool on this post. Like I don't even know why you here. Why are you here?
I'm writing books on how to solve the problem, and you just got word salad about the same problem that everybody posts about on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like produce a product, then debunk it if it's got an issue. This is what solution-based thinking is. Everything else is just chit chat. We way past. We way past. Like we want to solve a problem, but we just haven't.
I said this dude.
You know who's the problem?
Marcus Garvey shit.
Not us. I want to burn it down. I'm tired of the self-inflicted injuries. You see what I'm saying? We sticking the banana in our own tailpipe. No homo, no diddy, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? but at what point are we gonna get serious about who can ride with us and who can't?
I'm so happy y'all came back to
this is what it is right here. The simple fact, I never met Victor, and I don't know. Can of paint. I totally agree. You trying to burn it down. I'm trying to burn it down. How we going to do it? That's again, you got the same goal. I got the same goal. Maurice, you with me? All right, you don't got to like me.
But, no. It's not about like. I'm all.
No.
I'm all for truth. I love truth. Truth above all.
But
me, it's when I two things when I hear, like when you talk about exclusivity, I'm with you. Because everybody ain't going to make it. Right, there's a life dinghy. It fits 12 people. If you 13, you swimming, bro. That's life. That's how it works. It's unfortunate. It's not how we would like it. The next time we build the boat, we're gonna make it fit. The lifeboat fit for 15 next time. Okay, so that situation don't happen again, right? But that's not for now. For right now, we got the dinghy. Dinghy fits 12 people. If you 13, you swimming. I'm all about exclusivity. When y'all start talking about burn it down, my first question is what? Right?
Wait a minute. Before y'all
The
get
mental.
into that, we at the 2-hour mark, and this is where we got to start ending this live. I'm sorry. You can stay on the line afterwards, but we got to start ending this live, and I'm gonna end it.
Well, hold on, wait. Any, you gotta go, because I was gonna say anybody
No,
that wants.
I'm gonna get to any I'm wrapping it up. So I'm gonna end it with this. Do you guys have your last remarks? Again, we're going to reiterate what this whole live was about. We were coming at I was coming at not we on this panel, but I was coming at the extreme red pill guys that's out there, extremists, not just the red pill, but red pill extremists, manosphere extremists, righteous fear extremists. I was coming at them and their mindset. And I invited you guys on here, especially you guys, because you guys have what I consider a conservative mindset. And I just think, this is my opinion, I just think that a lot of the things that they say contradict what you guys want and what you are advocating for in the Black community and as Americans, goddamn it, So I wanted to have that spread, that layout with you guys. I wanted to have this conversation, and I invited these men up on here, and they thought that I was just gonna, I don't know what the hell they thought, but I just had some questions, some points. And I wanted to discuss the things that they post, where they're coming from, with real people. Because these guys talk to themselves.
I'm sorry to cut you off. But I gotta say this because they are live right now in the KS group, having a lot to say while the live is going on, and they did not one time click the link. And I'll just let that go. All right.
Yeah.
And then the things
could have came and had
came on here
and had a conversation. It's not a debate. It wasn't a debate. It just was a conversation. No, and everybody that's been watching from the beginning, I just was me. I didn't agree with everything she said. I agree with some of what she said, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, we're gonna do final thoughts like she said, and then I want everybody to say where the people can find you.
Absolutely. Let's go.
You want to go ahead and go first, Vinny? I mean,
hey, you talking already? Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not really anybody important, but whoever it was,
you are.
My thing was, this is the contradiction of men that needs to stop. Someone said something about a 35-year-old man expecting a 35-year-old or 40-plus-year-old woman to have no experience. Like, just the hypocrisy of that notion is the problem with some of us today, that we really think that just because we have genitals that hang outwards that we kind of run stuff, and our mindset is true, when it's like, yo, that discipline to keep your own self in your pants before you talk about someone else, you need to make sure that you had one or two partners yourself. And until we hold ourselves or your brother accountable for that, as men, we can't move forward. That's all I got to say.
Good word.
So, towards the commentary about the red pill extremist or any manosphere extremist, that's why I developed Accountable Masculinity. It doesn't have any other alignment other than just being focused on being disciplined or either undisciplined. That's the only two mindsets that's out there. It's a counterculture to what people would consider red pill or even manosphere. It might, resonate in some areas. In most areas, it may not. But it teaches 5 principles. Men focus on themselves is rule number 1. 2, no arguing with women. 3, decentralized leadership, knowing when to lead and when to follow, when to disengage. Rule number 4 is legacy and equity, because everything you do counts. And rule number 5 is sexual discipline, because just because you can doesn't mean you should. And it is it's the most important rule. And I wrote it at the end because it's hard to get past that, because every time you got a chance at being successful, that one slip up is always going to be associated with a man and his sexual discipline and his conduct associated with the opposite sex, or yeah, some cases the same sex. So go cop the book. It's worth read, and follow the platform that says Accountable Masculinity on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube is Accountable Masculinity University, by the way.
All right, all right. I like to echo the closing statements of these two gentlemen here. They actually they kind of eloquently spoke the thoughts that I was thinking. But I also like to add that for me, truth is above everything in relation to the topic of the day. You're always going to find extremists, left, right, up, down, center, wherever you're going to find them. Um, you know, what needs to be verified is the truth. The wonderful thing about the truth is I can test it consistently, and it will always stay the truth. If it starts moving and changing, then what I do know is what I don't have is the truth. So, verifying, constantly verifying whether something is truthful or not. Sometimes you might be stuck with something that's just true enough, and if that's what you have, then you hold on to it for dear life because you don't have anything better. You don't complain if you're out in the middle of the ocean. You don't complain about the log that's saving your life. It's not a really great boat, but it's going to keep you alive, afloat long enough to be able to, work your situation out. But yeah, no, I mean, truth above everything. Also, you can find me on Maxi Studio Music. I make my music out there. It's a little humble enterprise that I got going on YouTube. So it's spelled right there next to my name. If you can't see it, it's lowercase MA, capital X, lowercase SI, Studio Music. If you got an iPhone, you got to make sure you double. iPhone likes the what do you call it? The autocorrect my name. So just be careful you typing it in correctly. But check me out. Like, subscribe, do that thing on do the YouTube thing. Hope to see y'all soon.
All right, all right, all right. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to us on our platform. More conversations with the average black man on YouTube. And she and I also have our individual platforms. She has more contentious media, and I have the average black man show, and we have them on all platforms as you see listed in this list. Yeah, all right there. You dig what I'm saying? So you just check us out. And Morphine, you got any last words?
Well, normally we will hit you with the next episode and what we are going to talk about. But since I don't know exactly what the next show is going to be about, we're just going to drop the commercial. We're just going to drop the commercial. I made this because I wanted to examine some of the things that I read every day in these Kevin Samuels groups. Sometimes the Righteous Man, whatever the hell they name their groups nowadays. And I'm in this accountability group, which talks so opposite of what I'm used to for a male's right movement. So it was some contrast and some things that I just felt like I needed to speak on for a certain amount of these people. And the guys they are in the Kevin Samuels group, and they are in their own individual group talking about how they thought they were going to get roasted. And I think they thought this shit was personal. It's not personal, baby. It's not personal. I don't know you personally. It's never personal. This is just the things that you put out here in the name of a males movement that I don't even think the pro males movement agree with. So I just wanted the voices to be heard. I wanted to have the conversation amongst intelligent minds. But like one of the guys said, I'm gonna quote him. His name is Jalen. He feels as though if he is challenged, or if you have anything to say that may be contradicting or challenging to what he's saying, then it's not worthy to respond to, and you're just a hater in his eyes. And the other guys, Kali West, Sean Killerman,
Kill 'em.
Killerman, yeah, those guys also was invited to the show because I showed a lot of their posts. Fair use. You post it publicly, I'm gonna use it. So, they didn't come up to the show, and I just wanted them to be able to talk to one on one, video to video, to other
And
men.
I want to throw this out
And
here
it
too
didn't
because
happen. It didn't work out the way I wanted to, but we got it through.
I want to throw this out here too to piggyback what you just said because they're talking about having a discussion about our discussion on their platform where they're the control. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I want to see if they're gonna extend the same courtesy of asking us to click the link. You know what I mean? And come on to their joints. But more than likely, I'll be at work. You'll be at work. So it is.
There's that. And here's the thing that I don't like about these conversations with
So
guys like
please,
them.
wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Please, if y'all are watching this still, tag me so I can see what you're talking about. Even though I follow you already, I'm already subscribed to you, Callie, because that's what I'm that type of brother.
Well, yeah, I'm
we do that.
subscribed to you, so I know what y'all talking about.
But yeah, but I still, you know what I'm saying? And if you've been watching the whole time, you see we didn't defame you. So if you defame us, it's just a testament to your character.
And again, back to what I was about to say. The thing that I don't like about these guys is that they don't include other people in the conversation. And I like to include other thoughts, other opinions, other rationalities than just what my own opinion is. Because like the brother Vinny, the brother Victor, the brother Maurice is on here. Us all can collectively give something to each other that we all could take away from one another without tearing anyone down. Because like I begin this, whether it's the feminist movement or it's the righteous fair movement, any movement that tear down another person, entity, or group is an unrighteous movement.
Somebody call the police.
Yeah, you heard them. Like it's an unrighteous movement.
Yeah, they can want to go pick them up.
Yeah, they're going to go pick up the motherfuckers with the contradictions. I think the next show I really want to do the female version of this. Me and Tim we want to talk about this. You know,
The feminist extremists.
yeah, the feminist.
Hey, there's a
I think I want to piggyback. I mean, that's just I'm morphine.
Don't laugh about that, because if you go do a YouTube search for fem sales, look it up. Like there's extremist women that are out here offering dudes, and it's being fem sales, just like
Nobody want to talk about that.
Yeah. I want to get into this because I have a extreme reputation to uphold of me being non-sexist. Mr. Victor don't like that about me because I don't got no side. I ain't know nobody.
I don't like. I've never taken offense to people definitions about anything. I understand that everybody's got a different set of information. We just all on different paths. We all on different paths headed to the same direction.
Absolutely.
What we want is space to be heard. You know what I'm saying, and other perspectives to be absorbed, and that way it gives everybody a chance to get in their own pocket. Man, you don't know everything. I don't know everything. And the things I don't know, I'd rather default to somebody that's got the firsthand experience. And then the thing, because like I focus on teaching, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying. That's like if you follow my platform, you see the way that I write is intentional, is determined to trigger people to not wrap their trauma around somebody else's words, man.
That part.
I didn't do it. I just know what was done. I don't know your individual story, but I know what was done because I've seen it. I got clients. I you know what I'm saying? I do consults on a regular basis. So that's how they come to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, we need to get backstage. You already
we need to get back to we had 2:30, we had 2:15. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for actually clicking on this link for today, because this is our first time coming back. We've been out of here for a month now. Our third season, 2 years in, consistently giving you guys more conversations with the average black man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.